Hi everyone, welcome to effing love cinema. I'm trying not to get lose my monetization here too fast, but yeah, this is the first in something new for the channel. Like I said before, I feel like my coverage of toxic fan channels and all that, while it is fun, it's fun for me at least. It's not really like I don't want that to be what this channel is, you know. So yeah, this is my dog, by the way, Daria. She's just chilling here. You know, I didn't see her all day yesterday, so she's a little clingy today. But yeah, it's the first episode, and and the kind of purpose of this is just to review movies, celebrate them. You know, it doesn't always mean I'm gonna love every movie that I cover. But I am going to, even if I don't like a movie, show it some love, you know. And today's movie is Horror in the High Desert, a little independent found footage movie that I saw on Amazon. It's about 80 minutes long. It's a quick watch, you know. I feel like found footage movies, they can be some of the worst, most laziest like trash out there, and it could also be some of the best, most immersive, especially when it comes to horror. Some of the most immersive like experiences there are. This movie is it's a it's not a lazy cash in by any means. I really feel like they had a pretty good idea, a pretty solid idea for a film, and they went out and executed it the best they can. um and what I will say is that it's not, I watched it after 2 days of getting way too drunk, first with my brothers and my dad, and then me and Lindsay at a card room yesterday. So this was the definition of a lazy Sunday afternoon watch, and it's a great lazy Sunday afternoon watch, frankly. It's an engaging movie. It has a fun little mystery at its core that is engaging, and it keeps your interest all the way through. Um, you know, and yeah, that's honestly, to be totally real here, that's probably the nicest thing I could possibly say about it. Which is not to say that this is a bad movie by any means. It's not. It's just I guess the biggest problem that I can sort of pinpoint here is that clearly a lot of the focus was put on crafting a mystery and unfolding it in a way that is that is interesting and all that. And I think it does a pretty good job of creating that mystery and making that mystery interesting. It just doesn't really take a full advantage of the fact that this is, a movie. This is a film. First of all, I think the biggest weakness of the movie is, the performances. You know, the actors are doing a fine enough job. I just really feel like fine is the best I could say about the acting here. Like it really feels like every single like line of dialogue, every single performance was like two or three takes away from like really nailing it. You know, it feels like take one, take two energy on a lot of the scenes you're watching. And not just that, but with the exception of like one character, like all the characters are sort of interviewed in the same place. Like one has a costume change halfway through the movie. Um, you know, so it's not the most visually engaging movie out there, unfortunately. I hate to say this really, but I feel like this could have been a podcast, or this could have been. If this were a podcast, I don't think it would have missed out on much because it just doesn't really do as much with it being a film as it could have. It really feels like an 80-minute cut of like a really really good 45-minute short film ultimately, because it really does feel like a lot of the scenes are just kind of, they're fleshing out the story, but they're not fleshing out the story with any pizzazz or any style or anything like that. It's just a little too straightforward for its own good. um but ultimately, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty decent film. Like if you just kind of want like a casual movie that isn't going to require too much like investment, like intellectually or emotionally, this is a good one. It is a good and interesting mystery. As it unfolds and stuff like that, it's pretty cool to watch. It's just not super like film, and I like that. I like my films to feel like films, if that makes any sense. Maybe that'll make sense with more videos like these that I do. I really feel like, I made a found footage film myself, unaired pilot, And when I made that movie, I really wanted to play with the fact that you are making a movie, that this is a film that exists with like filmmaking, I guess you can say, methods and rules and stuff like that. And I really feel, and I'm not trying to talk up my own movie here. You can see it on my channel. You don't. If you want to trash on it, by all means do it. I appreciate anyone who takes the time to see it. Ultimately, so whether you like it or not, you can judge it on your own. But yeah, my thing with found footage is that like it's such a interesting way to make a movie, because you are essentially just presenting it as this real thing, but you are making a movie. So you're taking the real world and throwing films, editing and sound design and all that shit onto that in whatever way you need. And with the unaired pilot, my main thing was the use of cuts in the movie. The whole movie is like 9 cuts, and each cut tells its own story and stuff like that. And that's to me kind of like the kind of horror that I really like to was the found footage style that I really like. A movie that this really reminded me of that also does a really good job of being a found footage film, capital F film, is Lake Mungo. There's a lot of similarities between this movie and Lake Mungo, but Lake Mungo definitely has just more. I mean, it even has like a climactic, like the climactic sequence is entirely done in that found footage style, while the rest of it is more or less like a documentary. It borrows from that, but ultimately, Lake Mungo is a better movie in my opinion. So if you do kind of like this style of movie and you kind of want to see something that's a little more, I don't know, sophisticated is the right word, but maybe a little more advantageous of the film medium, Lake Mungo is a good one to watch if you like this or want something a little stronger as a film. Yeah, and that pretty much is my thoughts on Horror in the High Desert. Once again, it's on Amazon. I will be doing these as often. It's gonna be probably partnered up with my letterbox. Once I watch a movie, I'll probably pop off here and do a quick little video on my thoughts of it. So yeah, if you like this, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you've seen the movie, tell me about it in the comments below. We can talk it out. If you loved it, tell me why. If you hated it, tell me why. All that stuff is, like I said, this is not a place for specifically and strictly for hating on toxic assholes. This is a place of loving cinema, of positivity. So if that's something you want to be a part of, join me on this adventure in this shit, because this is gonna be fun. And yeah, I would just like to connect with other people who like movies. So until then, I've been Eduardo. You guys have been awesome. That's been my dog over there. Have a good night.